1. Cam. The first thing I noticed about the man was his giant, toothy smile and deep, warm laugh. His face was one of those expressive ones that draws a crowd through sheer force of the personality shining through it. I watched him for a few minutes before approaching. It was a mild September day on the National Mall, and the man I assumed was Josh DeWitt had squatted down to pet a shaggy white dog. The mutt's attempts to lick Josh in the face seemed to be setting off the laugh. When the blushing dog owner tried calling the dog off him, Josh winked up at her and told her it was fine since he was a dog lover. One crucial item checked off the list. Since I had a spoiled lab mix back at my townhouse, it was good to know that wouldn't be a deal breaker if things between us went well. The bright eyes set in Josh's expressive face widened when he noticed me standing off to the side. "Are you Cameron?" he asked in that same delicious voice. Before I had a chance to answer, he stood up, revealing a wide-shouldered, narrow-waisted body. As my eyes lowered to take in his entire, glorious form, they landed with a screech on the prosthetic leg attached to his left knee. I quickly blinked back up at him to find his warm, brown eyes waiting. It seemed to be a pause he'd done 1,000,000 times. No anger or judgment, just neutral anticipation of my reaction. I smiled and stepped closer, holding out my hand. "Hi, Josh. Please call me Cam." His face split into the glorious, bright smile again, and it went straight into my chest with happiness. There was no doubt this man was one of those people who should always smile and laugh. After shaking my hand, he nodded down at his leg. "Lost it in numb," he said. I stared at him. The guy wasn't a day older than 30. There was something vaguely familiar about him, but I couldn't place it. "Just kidding, Cam. Sorry," he chuckled, "but you should see the look on your face." Josh's skin was butter smooth and a warm, tawny brown, as if it had never seen the ravages of weather or age. I wondered what it would feel like against my own. I lifted a brow. "I was only going to ask what the hell your skincare regimen is, since you've clearly got that shit handled." His laughter again. I thought maybe I could curl up in it and feel happy forever. "Dove soap, tap water, and dry it off with a bath towel." "You have a lovely laugh," I blurted. Josh's face turned serious, while mine threatened to burn clean off. "You have a lovely face," he said in a soft voice. "I'm so happy to meet you in person. Are you ready for our date?" I nodded, but then had a thought. We don't have to go to Arlington Cemetery if you don't want to." Josh's brows furrowed. "Why wouldn't I want to? I mean, yeah, it's a strange location for a date, but that's what we were given by the people at the club. I figured we could take a nice long walk there and then head to lunch afterward." I couldn't help but glance back down at his leg, even though I wanted to kick myself for it. "Really, Cam? A leg joke? But are you sure?" "Hey, mister! What happened to your leg?" a kid called from on top of a nearby skateboard. "Busted it doing a flip trick on my board. You'd better wear your helmet and watch what you're doing out there," Josh called back to him. The kid's eyes widened as he rolled away in surprise. "Is that true?" I asked. "Oh, no, it was an infection due to complications when I was born. I've never known myself with 2 whole legs. But how fun was it to make the point? That kid shouldn't be out here doing tricks like that without protective gear. And before you worry about me going on a nice walk on a gorgeous day with an even more gorgeous man, please don't. I've always been very active, and I wore this particular prosthetic for a reason. No offense, but I could probably outrun you with this thing." He knocked his shoulder into mine to show he was mostly teasing, and I smiled back at him. The prosthesis did look pretty high-tech, but it had a regular running shoe on the foot, rather than a futuristic blade. You probably could. I'm more indoorsy than outdoorsy. If you get tired, we can grab an Uber. But I'll have to make it very clear to our driver, you were the one who lost your stamina.